Hello friends, welcome to the fifth lecture of our corporate valuation, where we will see today about the economic value added, then market value added, difference between the DCF valuation method and economic value added, why economic value added is preferred than the DCF valuation method, and why market value added is preferred than the DCF, than the EVA valuation. We'll also see the concept of the brand valuation, their methods like accounting-based method, market-based method, discounted cash flow method, royalty relief method. Although till date, there are no standard model which will fit for all the brand valuation, but people take the average valuation. So let us look at the theory first for the brand valuation, EVA and the Uh, Before starting, I would like to say that the people are really watching the videos about the corporate valuation. I got some messages also that you need to put some practicals also. We will do that also whenever we have a time, and we will first complete the theory, and then we will really do a practicals on the certain problems like relative valuation, brand valuation, and so on. So regarding economic valuation method, till 1980, the firm were happier reporting the accounting profit. Each year enhanced profit figures and added a glimmer to the firm's face. So yeah, the external people were not able to know about the real valuation. So management and their CEO appeared happy and being rewarded because it is based on the accounting profit, which is not a real profit. So John Stern and Bennett Stewart created ripples in the financial industry when they developed the concept of EVA, economic value added. How much contribution is done by the company in the economy? They highlighted that several firms having high profit were low on their economic value method. Let us take one example. If you have ancestral property as a shop and if you are doing a business in that particular shop, uh, today value, if you are not considering for for return on investment, then you will say I'm doing profit. But if you take the today's value of that particular property, then you may come into a negative EVA. So it means although you are doing a profit, but you are not able to contribute to the economy. So there was a complete ignorance on the concept of the cost of capital. Accounting profit was ignoring the cost of capital, and there was a tendency to destroy what? Destroy the shareholders' value in the long run. Positive EVA suggests that firm has created profit in excess of the cost of capital. So if I'm borrowing money or my cost of capital is 12%, and if my EVA is positive, then I'm getting some money more than 12%. This implies that the firm has met all obligations, paid its operating cost, capital cost, and generates wealth for the investors. So why the company is doing business? Because who has invested? Shareholders. So if they are not doing anything for the shareholders, then people will not invest in the company. So EVA reduces income by charge of cost of capital. Key feature of EVA is that cost of capital charge includes both cost of equity and debt together, because we are working for stakeholders. EVA advocates the fact that firm employ capital to generate profit and value in the long run. So capital is invested for what? For long run. Now what is PBT is what? Short term. So this is you take NOPAT minus cost of capital into WACC. This will give you the EVA. We'll see the formula next slide. EVA assesses the ability of the firm to generate profit over and above the cost of capital employed to generate profit. This motivates managers to invest in good investments and thereby promoting the efficient allocation of capital. Sometimes the managers they manipulate the EVA. We will see how they manipulate. It is calculated as a difference between the after-tax profit into the cost of capital employed. So NOPAT minus WACC into total capital employed. What is total capital employed? Is total assets minus current liability. EVA is superior over the conventional measures such as ROI, ROE, and ROA. The key decision to be considered here are minimization of the cost of funds. So if you want to increase EVA, what you can do? One, increase what? Profit. And second, decrease what? Investments. Third, decrease what? Cost of fund. Decrease investments is not preferable because it is short term. But this is true. This is long term. When firm does not have an advantage of the increased revenue, it should create cost advantage with its competitor. It means reduction of cost. Decrease in the cost increases the profit. PAT exceeds COC, positive EVA is created. When cost of capital exceeds PAT, negative EVA is created. Positive EVA creates economic value for the firm, while negative is destroyed. Now we come to market value addition. So after EVA, people thought that even this is also can be manipulated. So they said, let us go to the MVA, which is less prone to manipulation. So what it takes is, it is just simple and unavoidable technique for the EVA. There are various computational difficulties that makes EVA quite unpopular and accounting profits are still popular. Managers as well as investors are myopic, that is biased for the short-sighted. So they always look at the short-term goals, and because of this, they manipulate the EVA. So there is over preoccupation with short-term result and liquidity. This destroys in the long-term value. So sometimes the short-term value may lead to erosion of or destruction of the future opportunities to create a value in the long run. At times, the value system, ego and personality traits of managers clashes with the financial interest of the company, and they manipulate. How they manipulate is, even though company required to invest for a long term, they will maintain the machines by repairing. So they will not have the interest cost, they will not have the depreciation cost, and so on. So they will have the more profit. In such condition, manager decision making may not be in the direction of the increasing the value of the shareholders. Example, in a conflict, management may acquire or retain assets which do not provide any value to the firm. So EVA makes management exploit their existing assets, I already discussed, so much that they avoid future investments, however profitable it may be. So they will see that the machines are running, even though the technological is an issue, then also they will run with additional cost of repairs and maintenance, but they will not invest, so that they will have the higher profit, higher EVA rather. EVA uses historical data, hence failed to look forward. To overcome this, one uses a relative performance method called MVA, market value addition. MVA is what? It is a difference between the company's fair market value, which is stock exchange, you can take the value, and economic book value of the capital employed by it. So market value minus capital employed. It's an absolute figure. So there is no involvement of the calculation and all. Now we go to the brand valuation. So there are 5 methods: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is accounting based method, market based method, discounting cash flow method, which we are already seen. So we will not do this. Market based method and then royalty relief method. But till date there is no standard model. So we will not do the accounting based method because it is only the cost which we have to count and put it as a valuation of the brand. So first method is accounting based method, which is cost based method. Here all the costs associated with the brand creation are accounted for. If intangible is acquired through purchase, then we'll take the purchase price. Where it is self-generated, I repeat, self-generated, then all the joint costs such as advertisement, R&D, a portion to the brand, and then the value of the brand is estimated. Disadvantage of this method is it is not comparable, not at all a comparable with the market value of the brand. So it is very conservative and based on the asset depreciation concept. Indirect costs associated to develop the brand is ignored. This method can be improvised by extending the useful life of the brand under consideration, but difficult. It is useless. We can also take R&D expenses, whatever incurred towards the brand, to give justification. All said and done is this method is not at all, applied as of now for the brand valuation. Market base is very simple. They will take the market value, which is perceived value which the brand has to sold in the open market. Generally, multiples are a good way to value the market for brand. We have seen this in relative valuation method. At the end, the value of the brand depends on the utility to the purchaser or the perception of the market. As I said, perceived value in the market. It is earlier it was tangible net worth was driving the value of the business. So you will before 1990. You always say how many assets, what is the asset base of the company and all. But now what is the brand value of the company? So it is like intangibles, like know-how, like patents, intellectual capital, brand, designs, these all are important now. And this creates a value and not the asset. So DCF method, I'll just skip because we have already seen DCF method in our evaluation. Royalty relief method is based on basically, if I give this brand on a rental basis, maybe you can have a word of royalty here. Then how much royalty I will get? Based on the value of the royalty, there will be a valuation of brand. So the company that takes the license of the brand and pays the royalty to the brand holding company, and this royalty is expressed as a rate. So NPV of the cash flow arising to the brand holding company is the value of the brand. The method can be determined the underlying base for the calculation of the royalty, that is percentage of turnover, net sales, or number of units. There can be various methods how the royalty can be worked out. There can be various method like per 5% of the sales, 2% of the net sales, or 1% of the profit. Normally profit people don't go for, or number of units sold. The most important factor here is to determine the appropriate royalty rate. That is difficult to ascertain. So that is difficult, but you can take the help of the professionals. They will arrive at the rate. One has to determine the growth rate of the cash flows arising to the brand, its expected life, and the discounted rate for the brand. The cash flow is then discounted and the value of the brand is arrived. So it is basically a quite useful method of to calculate the brand valuation. So friends, we are stopping here our the today's lecture on the MVA, which we have done, then EVA, and then brand valuation. What we'll do is next time I will come with the what are the precautions we should take whenever we do the valuation of a company, and the steps, practical steps. So till then, friends, keep learning, grow yourself, because I always say the sky is the beginning, there is no limit, right? So till then, stay tuned, and thank you very much for the appreciating the videos which I have uploaded. Thank you very much, friends.